Welcome everyone to Overcome Podcast. In today's episode, I'm talking with a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu world champion, Gi and no Gi, with a lot of experience when it comes to overcome adversity. And this is his first time in the podcast, so welcome Fabio Alano. It's a great honor to have you here. Thank you very much for joining.
Thank you so much, Professor Yuri. It's a pleasure for me. It's an honor for me to be here, sharing some knowledge and energy with you guys. I hope you guys can enjoy that.
Awesome. Fabio, nowadays you live in US. How long you been here in US?
I'm here like 3 years and a half, a little bit more. And now I am in San Diego and I am enjoying a lot. For me, it's my favorite place nowadays.
And what brought you here from Brazil? It was Jiu-Jitsu that brought you here. Is that correct?
Actually, it's a kind of a long story, but in short, uh, I was having my career in jiu-jitsu and I was doing everything amazing. My career was going really well. But on the COVID, the things start become really hard in Brazil, especially for my family and for me too. But like how we are fighters, we are resilient, we can figure it out, how can survive,
Yep.
right? But when I see my family passing for a hard time, and because anyone could work, I needed to decide come to United States before than I was planning. Because actually my first plan was be a world champion in all belts, and I was doing that. But when I arrive in the black belt, the COVID starts, and after I become a world champion and a black belt, my plan was go for the MMA and be a world champion in the UFC. But the COVID starts, everything happened. Like, okay, I call for Fábio Gurgel, the our general alliance, and I asked him some help. And he gave me the opportunity to go to Boston and give some classes right there.
Mm,
And that's to start my journey on the US. That's why I start coming to US right here.
I see. Yeah, you mentioned a very important point about resilience and everything. I think that a lot of people that were born and raised in countries like US, they don't realize how hard it is growing up in Brazil to really have things. And that's I think that that's one of the biggest difference when it comes to jiu-jitsu practitioners that growing up in Brazil versus the one that are in US, right? Because things are so difficult there,
Absolutely.
right? And you already grow up
Yes,
with that resilience.
absolutely. I didn't have a easy I didn't have a easy life when I was young. Like my childhood was poor, and I grew up in like a kind of ghettos in Brazil. And but my family, I have my base really good. My family, my dad and my mom, they always sacrifice themselves to give the best studies qualification for me,
Hmm.
and they sacrificed as much as they could to give me the best scholar stuff. And I gained a scholarship in one of the best schools in south of Brazil, and I had a great education, and that helps me a lot because I could see both parts of the life. I see the poor part, then I learned the sneaky stuff, and I can tell you like has a negative side and positive side about that. And I learned the high society stuff. Like when I see the first time the school, and I start meeting and hang out with people of that level of financial stability. I noticed like, oh my God, I didn't know people could have two cars. Like
Yeah.
it was a totally different experience for me. And absolutely, the way we are creating in Brazil, like definitely we are create to know have prosperity.
Yeah.
I don't know if this word is correct, but right. Um, and I always try bring for myself good things and bad things. Actually, the good things on the bad things. Most do living there, we think like, oh, we put blame on the society, on the politics and everything, but we don't act.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And jiu-jitsu give me this tool to like, brother, you are the only here can make effort to make your life happen. And when I figured out this, I okay, let's to act. And that's I start learning about myself. And yes, that was really hard. I when I decided to do jiu-jitsu, I needed to sacrifice my whole life for that. I started living at the gym for be and I become obsessed on that. Why I had a lot of good experience and I could travel all over the world without $1 on my pocket, and I have a great experience in cultural stuff. And I'm really grateful about jiu-jitsu.
And when did you start jiu-jitsu? How old were you?
Well, I'm 23 years old. I started martial arts with 4 years old. I started with Kung Fu. And after I make the transitions for karate, and karate I did 9 years.
Wow.
And after karate, yeah, and after karate, I start a martial art. The name is Hapkido. It's not that famous. It's a kind of a Korean martial arts. Then you have a kicks like
Yeah,
taekwondo
Hapkido,
and
Hapkido, right?
yeah, Hapkido.
Yeah.
Yes. And we have like takedowns like judo and wrestling, and we have 10 seconds of jujitsu. And I am 3 times world champion in Hapkido.
Oh, nice.
And yes, and that was amazing. It's a really cool martial art. Unfortunately, the political round doesn't make that grow up too much. But because of that, I like, okay, I want to be the best fighter in the world. And I started looking for Muay Thai and Taekwondo and boxing and MMA around and started like, okay, I need to do Jiu-Jitsu because I'm the only one on the national team that don't do Jiu-Jitsu. And I hate it. Grips. I hate it like when people grab me. And okay, let's find some gym. And I met Mario Hayes, my first master, and he said the first lesson for me. He said, like, Fabio, you're a really skillful guy, and I believe you can go to the UFC, but you need to decide. If you want the hardest way to go, you can fight the bread like whatever championship right here and maybe never right there, or you can choose to find one of those martial arts, the famous martial arts like boxing or jiu-jitsu, and be obsessed on that and be the best on that. And the results will come, the UFC will grab you a lot easier. And he has a lot of friends on UFC, and like Verdun, ex UFC champion, it's my friend too. And okay, I accept. And since there, 1 year after, I started living at his gym since my white belt until my black belt,
Wow,
and all
that's
the results that
amazing.
come. Yeah,
That's amazing.
yeah,
And so you were always alliance.
always alliance, my whole life.
That's really rare nowadays. Really rare. And
Yeah, that's true.
and also really rare that you had the same professor from white all the way to black.
Yeah, that's true. I am really grateful. Like Mario, the kind of my second father. Like I love my father a lot. Like he's
Mm-hmm.
amazing, of course, but it's like my father make me the structure and everything, the base and how be a man. And Mario, I tell like he's a kind of second father because he made me. I learned one time I read in some place where like we have 2 special days on our life. We have more, but these were 2 special days on our life. The day we're born and the day we figured out who we are. And Mario make me understand who I am.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why he's extremely special for me. I am extremely loyal. I have a lot of loyalty about him, and yes, I love him. I will visit him next week, and I can't wait to give a hug to him.
Yeah. Another very famous jiu-jitsu champion that moved to US, actually here in Texas, and you train with him from what I heard is Nicholas Maragali, right?
Yeah,
So
Nicholas is my brother.
you train with him for many years.
We live together at the gym. We
Wow.
live together at the gym. Yes, me and him was like every time glue, and we try kick each other ass
Mm.
every time. It was a war every time. We grew up together a lot. We had years at least together, living together with a lot of stories, a lot of things. We passed for hard moments together, good moments together. And when I arrived at the gym, I was a white belt. He was a purple, and he was like, I admire him. I admire him a lot, and I always like, okay, he won that. We always compare each other, of course, because we're kind of the same size, like same like a biotype and everything, and we are extremely competitive. We compete in everything, like who gonna do better, faster, who gonna have the best girl, who
Yeah.
gonna eat faster, whatever, And I love him so much. I miss him a lot, and I hope I can visit him in couple months.
Yeah, awesome. If you ever come to Texas, make sure to stop by Dallas as well, which is
Absolutely,
where I am, so we can meet. But Fabio,
would be a
I
pleasure.
think that one of the things that you already briefly talk about, which is how jiu-jitsu made really you know more about yourself. But what was really the main lesson that really changed your approach to life that you learned from jiu-jitsu?
Well, of course, Jiu-Jitsu gave me millions of lessons, but I think the most important thing Jiu-Jitsu gave to me is a self-confidence.
Hmm.
Like when I became world champion in Hapkido, for example, I always since my 4 years old, I want to be the world champion. I want to be the best fighter in the world because my dad always like talk things like that for me. And we watch movies like Bruce Lee and stuff, like always like get motivated about that. And about I was always when I was younger kind of self-pity or like no have confidence enough. And I when I win stuff, I have that sabotage, that imposter,
Imposter syndrome. Yeah, imposter syndrome.
Exactly. Yeah, and I always like think, oh, I was lucky, like
Yeah.
like extremely victim. And when I arrive at the gym, Mario, Mario hates victims, and I needed to prove myself, And actually, when you are in an environment of a high performance, if you don't adapt yourself in that environment, you're stumped. I don't
Yeah.
know if the word's correct. Like,
Yeah, you
get
got
out.
you got spell. Yeah.
Yes. And I adapt myself. Like, I see, like, okay, I see, like, people around of me was training a lot and they're being winners. And, like, oh, and some of these guys I'm beating, maybe I can be a winner too.
Hmm.
And I got my first championship, my second championship, my third championship, and I lost all of them. On my fight, and I kept going because I jiu-jitsu was super challenging.
Yeah.
And on my fifth championship, I won. It's like, oh my God, I can't do that. It's like, it's not like just fake. It's not like I did myself effort enough and I start training like as a real athlete. And that's making me okay. I want this feeling more and more. And I start competing like as on my white belt, I compete practically like all weekends. Every weekend I was competing. Seriously, that
So
was crazy.
does that mean that you were never someone nervous to compete? You were always hyper.
No, I got nervous a lot.
Okay.
Like I was, but that's the thing. I think this gift that Jiu-Jitsu gave to me, the self-confidence, was built, right? I was not self-confidence. I was not self-confident. And Jiu-Jitsu built that on me. I built that with Jiu-Jitsu actually.
Hmm.
And ju- on the white belt, I started feeling better and better. And yes, like of course, every time I was extremely nervous and afraid of everything. But I started building that confidence. Like, okay, if I training right, I can be I can be a champion.
Mm-hmm.
And I started being a champion, and it's like a feed, one feed other,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's how it started. And that's jujitsu gave to me as a gift, the most important lesson.
It's interesting that you mentioned that you got nervous. Is this nervous because everyone does actually get nervous. I never interview anyone that told me no, I never got nervous. And most of the people that I talk with, and they say that they get nervous, they actually say this is a good thing because it
Absolutely.
makes you more aware and also shows that you care. Because if you don't get nervous, then are you really enjoying what you're doing? Because you're supposed to get a little bit nervous, right?
Absolutely. This is a great point because had a point of my life, then I was living here in the United States, and when I was trying to do MMA, I moved from Boston to training to have a hardest trainings, right? Because Boston didn't have the best training. Uh, have a lot of friends right there and good guys right there, but for my size and everything, I had not the best training. And I moved to Vegas. Then I had the opportunity to train with the best guys on the world, like Habib Nurmagomedov, Cody Garbrandt, Sean Strickland, Marvin Vettori, and I passed for a really hard time in Vegas because when I arrived there, some guys promised me a lot of stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and when I arrived there, was everything was not like that.
Yeah.
And the time started passing, and I just had one fight, and I could not increase anymore. When I see like MMA was doesn't like depending more just about me, my effort, and depend about the guy we fight, the manager, the event, and 8 fights drop in 1 year. And I noticed, okay, I need to do something because I started living in Vegas as a homeless.
Wow.
And that was, yeah, that was a really hard time for me. And I was married, and my relationship was really bad. She was keeping living in Boston, and I needed to decide. I need to rebuild my jiu-jitsu career, or I need to keep trying right here. I had angels on my life right there. Uh, then, like, I would tell their names. That I think is okay, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, like Genie is my private student right there. He offered to me a house to live. He's an amazing guy. I really appreciate him. Shirley was my other private student, and she nowadays she is my manager. She is my big friend, and she do all the logistics and effort for my growth.
Mm-hmm.
And thank you so much for both of them. Well, I live like that, and it was extremely hard for me. And when I noticed, like, okay, I need to rebuild my career in jiu-jitsu, then I stay like kind of 5 years far than that. And when I start fighting jiu-jitsu again, and it start become like I start having a panic attacks.
Oh wow, really interesting.
Yeah, yeah. I start having it on the training.
Oh,
I
during
was
during
training
the
right
training.
during the training.
Wow. Never
Yes,
heard, never
I
heard,
have a lot of
never
classes.
heard of that from a fighter. That's interesting. Keep going.
Yes, because a lot of things happen on my relationship, really toxic stuff, and my self-confidence start getting down a lot. And when I see my dream and to go to UFC will not be possible anymore because my age and everything was happening. Okay, let's rebuild everything in jiu-jitsu, and I have my memory muscle for that time that I was obsessed, that I was living at the gym 24 hours of jiu-jitsu. But when I come to training and rebuild my career, I don't have more the same opportunity, the same environment.
Hmm.
And my self confidence was so down because of that.
Yeah.
Because everything happens. Because I was training, I was not be able to beat the guys that already beat it before.
Yeah.
Like a lot of guys, like Kainan Duarte, Vitor Hugo. I have bunch of guys on the top ones. I already beat them before, and now I can tell like they're super far than me. I am super far than them. And when I was on the gym with Felipe Andrew, Peter Frankie, training with them, I started feeling frustrated because 10 minutes was being impossible for me to survive. And I was on the minute like number six, I was like, I would start feeling like, okay, and I want to tap. I don't know if you remember Alberto dos Santos,
Yes, I
like,
do.
and he started tapping on the like for nothing.
For nothing, yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing. It was the same thing. He was having panic attacks, and of course, for different reasons, right? But I was depressed, and I didn't know that,
And how did you
and that's
how did you
why.
overcome that?
Well, that's the thing. I keep it in process, right? I decide myself, okay, I will be a world champion. I decide that I want a black belt adult, and I had ups and downs. I got divorced, and I think that was a good choice for my life. Unfortunately, that needs to happen, and but that's make me think more about myself. Not in a selfish way, just but like self-care.
Yeah.
Give me love, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And I start doing the small things. And I start studying about what I was having and start making therapy with my therapist, right?
And by the
Augusto, his
way,
name.
Fabio, how many years ago was that?
This last year.
Oh, just last year. Wow, very recent.
Yes. Yes. I moved to San Diego 1 year and a half ago.
Well, but wait a minute. Last year you were having all that, and last year you won the world championship,
Yeah, that's the thing.
right?
Like,
So how was this shift from
yeah.
almost stepping every time the press to turn the table and become world champion? That's it's amazing journey.
Yeah, like I was telling before, like my environment changed, right? And I decided to be what I did, to do what I did.
Hmm.
And the moment you decide and you start doing small things, everything start changing slowly. I could not like, let's go and do everything. No, simple things. I I wish can I show you something that I start doing? I'm extremely visual,
Hmm.
and I
You
use
started journaling and writing down everything.
yes, and I do this thing right here. Then I all the priorities that I have. For example, BJJ, drills, strength conditioning, diet, meditation, visualization, read the books and English. Then things like help me.
Yeah.
I start putting on the days like Monday until Sunday, and I start giving a score if I did everything right or not. Final of a week, I do the sum of everything, and I start putting on the graphics to see if I am being mediocre or if I am being good.
Yeah,
And I
to
do this
track your
one time.
progress.
Yes. And every time every week I do that. And every week I start feeling understanding how my progress were going. And I start seeing because I need to see,
Yeah.
right? Because I'm a kind of person that I charge myself a lot. And I needed to figure it out like, okay, calm and be grateful for the small things that you were doing.
Man,
And I
this
start
is
increasing my self-confidence.
this is beautiful because this is something that I talk so much about and people take for granted. Celebrate the small wins, you know, celebrate the little things because it is the little things that when you build up will become a big thing. You don't just change the switch from 0 to 100 overnight. You know, you
Yes.
keep dialing in and improving day by day until you get to 100%. So this journal that you wrote is a proof of that. Is showing how you are progressing every week. This is amazing. I love this approach.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, that's where it was really helpful. And of course, my classmates and everything, I stop feeling the panic attacks. And sometimes I had a little anxiety, but no, like, and I start competing more and I start winning again.
And
I
Fabio,
start winning like
just to be clear for our listeners, you said that you stopped the pain attack, and all this without any medication. It was all on your mind.
actually no, I had when I start having panic attacks on Vegas, I start talking with like people and like, okay, you need to do from too.
Mm-hmm.
And I start having a really small medication just for the anxiety in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
And that helps me a little bit for sure. But I'll be honest, if I didn't act the way I acted before, the medicine would not be enough.
Okay.
Because yeah, I was really depressed. I was
So
like,
basically, what you're saying is that medicine, the medication on its own, would not do the trick if you have not really work on your mind to do better. The medication is almost like a
yes,
band aid. It helps to
absolutely.
patch temporarily, but if you don't change your mindset, then it's not gonna work.
Yeah, I need to be honest, like I need to open myself right here. I was in the situation that I was thinking the worst. Like I definitely arrived in a situation that I was living like sleeping at the floor. And when that happened, I was thinking like, okay, I don't want to leave like that, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah, no, I
And
fully understand, and I'm glad that you changed your mind. But as you said, and this is also another important point, is really about your circle, your the environment that you're in. All those things also contribute with this self healing process, and also the fact that you change your inner circle and your environment had a big contribution on that, right?
totally. If you don't change your environment, if you don't have a group around of you that can talk good things for you and help you, like I had when I live at the gym. I live at the gym with five other guys, and all of us become a world champion because everybody on the hard moments we are there for each other.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't have a good environment, it's just put you down. You have to have. It's a scientific
Yeah,
comproved,
yeah.
right? Is approved. Yeah. And yeah, I decided to change because I need it.
Yeah, but the good thing is, I think that the fact that you were a BJJ practitioner for so many years, the resilience that you learn practicing fighting also did help you to go through this. Because if you were just a regular person going through this, it would be harder because you didn't really have the resilience of a fighter.
Absolutely. Like jiu-jitsu gave me all the, of course, other martial arts too, but I think martial arts give me more like body, like body awareness. I don't know
Yeah,
if this word
body
is
awareness.
correct.
Yeah, yeah.
And jiu-jitsu gave me the mindset. Jiu-jitsu gave me totally the mindset, the high level mindset. I was obsessed, like as if I have everything. Everything was about jiu-jitsu. The way the eat the food that I eat, the how I need to sleep. I sleep with programmed brain and binaural like stuff on my ears to feel like I'm smarter for the other day. I'd be better and beat Nicholas. You know what I mean? Like every day, every time.
Yeah.
And that's changed everything. You understand? I know nowadays that if I stop everything on my life and okay, I want to be a businessman, that effort and that resilience and everything make me confident enough to achieve any goals.
Yeah, and I think that you are kind of transitioning a little bit of that because from what I heard, you're also doing some seminars, not jiu-jitsu seminars, but motivational seminars where you speak in companies and everything, bringing your experience. So this is really good because you do have a lot of things to share. and it totally translates from the sport to the business. I fully agree with you.
Yeah, I for my whole life, my whole career actually, I decided to put my energy on my dreams. And because we don't have the best in Brazil, the best education, financial education, um, I everything I did was against making money. Like I did a lot of bills to pay for a golfer and be a European champion, to be a Pan American champion, to be a Brazilian, to be a
Yeah.
Abu Dhabi champion, and I did a really big bills, and I never look myself as a business. And on the final of the facts, what the hardest stuff for me, it's like have time enough to train when the best training and recover good because I had no money to do everything that I needed.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and like now I am seeing like, okay, I don't need to looking for sponsorships. They will come as a consequence of my results,
Hmm.
but I need to be my sponsorship.
Exactly. This is an
And
excellent point. Because I think you invest in yourself and putting yourself out there without waiting for this initial sponsorship is basically saying, "Hey, I believe in myself and I can do this," and the sponsors will show up when they start seeing the results. That's very well said, because a lot of people, they don't operate, and they expect people to come and give them things, and you're doing exactly the opposite. You're going after believing in yourself and showing up and really grinding. That's outstanding.
yes, and like you said, I started building my new business right now. Like I wanna give the lectures because everything I passed on my life, I know a lot of people pass. A lot of people pass. And I can tell like how it can be. Of course, for myself, of course, I cannot be hypocrite. I'm sorry, I don't know this word. Like a liar, right?
Yeah.
Like a
Hypocrite.
uh, hypocrite. Yes, like to say like, oh no, I'm not doing this for money. Of course, I want to do this as my business, and I want to be really well with that.
Hmm.
But at the same time, what the problems that I can resolve with this?
Yeah.
You know,
It's
I
all
know I have a lot.
it's all about having a purpose. So yes,
Yeah,
you're gonna
absolutely.
make money of this because that's your career, and you have to make money out of that. And there's nothing wrong with that. You are a professional, so you have to charge. This is
Yes.
the thing. But you are looking for things that gives more than just money. You are looking how you can help others through your experience, and this is very cool for you doing it, because it goes way beyond just financial fulfillment. There is a purpose behind that.
Yes, absolutely. My goal in at least in a year, I have a bunch of schedules on a bunch of lectures on my schedule, and I can share as much as I can, all the information and things that I passed, all the sacrifice that I did, because I'm sure a lot of people will be like will use that as a mirror for their lives, and they can use that to grow up in their lives. That's my biggest goal
Yeah,
right
and
now.
I think that this whole journey is also making you way more mature as an athlete, because I saw your video when you got the results of your injury that you couldn't do the pan, and you were smiling, you were fine. It's not like you were depressive or anything. You just dealt with that with a really good uplifting mindset. So that shows a lot of maturity, because I know that you wanted to fight the pans, but you couldn't. So what can you do? Well,
Yeah.
let's focus on the recovery. So tell how it was, that the whole thing.
Yeah, that's a good point. I already fought with millions and millions of injuries. My Felipe Andrew was my classmate right now this year's world champion black belt too. We fought a couple times and won semi-final of the worlds. For example, I knew he would attack my foot because of his specialty, and he broke my foot in the middle of a fight. And I tell like I would not tap. My big toe touched my heel.
Oof.
You're like, oh, not tap. and his master like, okay, Felipe, you can let it go. It will not tap. This is the world. And what I'm telling that, because like I fought a million times with a lot of break stuff, and this needs resilience. But I become extremely upset. And like you said, the time start passing and you start understanding how can respect your body, how it's your limits and your boundaries. And you start handle with the pressure about your environment because people doesn't know about your pain or what you're feeling,
Yeah, yeah.
right? And when I arrived here in San Diego, I was extremely more mature for everything I passed, absolutely. But this injury, especially, was really different because it's on my cervical.
Mm,
And all my discs are like dislocated, and my C7 is completely degenerated. And it's been a long time that I didn't know. And that's why I have a lot of headaches, extremely headaches and stuff. And well, I needed to stay 3 months stopped without training. And I am on this time right now. And that's what I decided. Okay, let's spend my energy in other stuff. How can I body? I will feed my mind.
mm-hmm.
And I start studying, and I'm doing a special course from Harvard about how can I speech better, how can I speak better. I'm just on the beginning, but it's helping me a lot to
Mm-hmm.
understand the English too.
Yeah.
And now, yeah, now I am preparing this lecture, then I am really excited to do it. I am so excited. And that's the things happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's amazing. Also, you touch a very important point, which is about preserving your body because you are on this for the long road, right? You really want to stay in the sport for a long time, and if you get, you don't play around with your cervical, you don't play around with your back because this can be very damaged and can finish your career. So you want to be careful,
Yeah.
you want to be mindful. The years
Yeah.
of play around with injuries are behind you. And now
Absolutely.
is about working in a much more smart approach since you are building this other career in parallel. So I love the fact that you said, okay, I cannot train my body, but I can still train my mind and do things. So, and when are you going to be able to go back to full training?
After I am going to Brazil next week, and I will stay there for 14 days.
Mm-hmm.
And after I come back, I'll be able to training. Right now, I started doing some strength conditioning, more like strength, with more strength,
Mm-hmm.
and that I could not doing before. And I'm not feeling any. I'm uncomfortable right now, and I start doing some sport really slow with my students. And my physiotherapist, she said like, okay, now one time for like 8 days, you can try do one sport little more like strength. And I did last week with the old world champion like Tarsis,
Mm-hmm.
and was amazing. We did a great rolls, and I felt nothing. Like, is everything okay? I think I'm having a great healing.
Yeah.
And I'm sure like after I come back to Brazil, I will give my lecture after 1 week after on Seattle. And absolutely after there, I will come back to the training again, and let's see what's gonna
Do
happen.
you still plan to do the worst this year in August?
No, this yes, for the Masters, yes.
Yes.
But I want to start fighting more events like different events like we number one,
Oh,
who's
okay.
number
Okay.
one, things like that. But yeah, I will compete. I will compete for sure.
Okay. Oh, yes, because one of the things a lot of people they ask is, oh, okay, now that you are going through this new career, does that mean that you're going to be less preparing for competition? Because we know, even though you've done this a lot of times, we know how important it is to have a good prep to compete, right? A good
Yeah,
camp and everything. And sometimes when you are on camp,
yeah,
you really need to focus on the camp.
A big reason for I do that too, it's exactly for I have more freedom for like because I do a lot of classes a whole day. And a lot of times I work as a security at night. Now I am not giving more the 6 a.m. class, but for 1 year, for example, work Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday at night, and I sleep 2 hours. Need to give class at 6 a.m. Um, I want to be able to escalate my financial stability
Hmm.
for I have actually more time to training and give a little bit more less classes. I love give classes. I want to keep having the giving classes, but I want to get less classes to training more. And I know this will be good for my health, for my mental health, and I can motivate more people, you know.
Yeah.
That's the reason to.
And when you say classes, are you talking about just regular class, or do you also have within your schedule time to give privates too?
I do privates too. Now, because how our gym we started since zero, like we started like 2 years ago, like since zero.
Hmm.
When I arrived at the gym, I have just like couple students. Now our gym is full. Like in 2 years, we had like almost like 400 students,
Hmm.
and now the people like two beginners they doesn't understand how important to have like a private classes.
Yeah.
Now they start understanding that oh my god, that's like one private class is like 10 normal classes or more, you know.
Hmm.
And they start evolving really quickly and it's like oh yeah, that's really good, and now people start coming more for privates, and yeah, that's great.
Awesome. Now I'm gonna ask you some very specific questions about the other side of all this, which is physical preparation, because you mentioned strength training. Uh,
Yeah.
uh, how this is a question that I ask most of the professors, jiu-jitsu professors that I interview, and usually the answer is the same. So let's see how you deal with that. How do you improve your jiu-jitsu cardio?
Oh yeah, that jiu-jitsu. I am degree in science and sport, and I don't know how guys talk here as a physical education. I don't know,
Mm-hmm.
it's different here. Because in Brazil we study for 5 years right there to have all the degrees. It's really deep. It's not like here have a course is like 6 months, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, I have specialization too,
Nice.
and I do my strength my sorry. I do my strength condition, of course, about the periodization that I have for my competitions.
Mm-hmm.
But I need to be super honest. Cardio for jiu-jitsu, it's doing jiu-jitsu.
Yes.
Because like jiu-jitsu extremely specific. You don't have just one like it's not just run that you just do cardio, right?
Yeah.
It's a you have a isometric power, you have a strength power, you have a totally difference in one round. It's really specific.
Yeah.
You need to train in jiu-jitsu. You don't I always talk for my students like, okay, you want a better cardio. If you run, okay, you have a little bit of better cardio. If you swim, a little bit of, but your body will adapt it for that kind of special stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
And on jiu-jitsu, you need to do like no ask for your professor like, oh, can I rest this one? I'm sorry, brother. If you do that, you don't have respect. Like,
Yeah, that's the answer
no,
that
like I
the
know.
answer that everyone hates it. How I improve my jiu-jitsu card? Well, do more jiu-jitsu rows. Because people
Yes,
say, "Well, can
absolutely.
I do some CrossFit? Do you think CrossFit is gonna help me?" And yeah, not really. Uh,
CrossFit is a totally different. It's really nice. It's competitive if you want, you know, but it's a different sport.
yeah.
If you try to do a high level, like if you're a competitive person, if you do try to do a high level jiu-jitsu and you try to do your best on the CrossFit, you probably will hurt yourself.
Interesting. Yeah. Yeah. This is everyone says that. I asked this more because I was curious, but everyone says that you need to do more rows. That's the only way that you are going to
Yes.
improve your cardio on jiu-jitsu is more rows. And keep
Yes.
pushing yourself because maybe when you are dying and you want to take a break from one role, that's the role that you need to do to really put yourself in bad situations and just stall a little bit, escape here and there, and maybe on that round you're just gonna make a couple of points, and it's gonna be more than enough, right?
When you are really tired, you learn a lot of stuff. You need to be more technical. You need to be resilient. You learn a lot of stuff. And like I remember what Mario do with us. Like we'll have like 6 trainings per day. And the ninth training is like a surf, is easier theoretically.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and he put us to stay on the middle with 3 guys or 2 guys, and the guys will go and back with us like 3 minutes for a whole hour. We don't stop, like
Jesus
whole hour
Christ!
going. Yeah,
Wow!
and this is our other like it's not one of the last trainings that we had. We're already training like 5 times before.
My God.
Yeah, it was so tough,
Well, but
so tough.
now
But
comes the catchy question, because I think you can do this for teenagers or adults between 20 and 25, but I think that this level of training doesn't really fit a Master 5, Master 4. I mean, it gotta be different.
yeah, the thing is, I talk for my students, and that's I learned on the hardest way because jiu-jitsu can be tough, you can be technical, or it can be both. Of course, we want to try be both. Because if you're a lot of gyms are really technical, I know a lot of guys are really technical, but on the moment they need to use that angry like and do their best, they doesn't have that power. At
Hmm.
the same time, when you're really tough, like our gym we was, you win a lot of against a lot of people because you have that energy. But when you start arriving closer than a black belt, everything becomes different. It's not more
Yeah.
physicality. Now you need to be smart. And when on the beginning, I'm sure you need to try understand how can be tough. And when you start going like purple, brown belt, you need to study more and more. And the most important will not be the volume of the training, but the quality of the training.
Hmm.
Absolutely.
Yeah. No, this is a very important point, because the if you want longevity, you also want to avoid injury, because if you are
Yeah,
on your 40s and you get injury, we are talking about months without being able to train. So it's almost like a
yeah,
reset. So train
absolutely.
smart. And I will even say for 40s, and let's see if you agree with me. When you are on the 40s level, you have to choose your partner. You're not gonna roll with a 20 years old that is running around full of you know energy.
Yeah.
It's you're gonna get yourself hurt.
Yeah. You need to know what you're doing because if you go with is your ego,
Hmm.
right? If you no, I want to show how hard I am, even for me, for myself. Like it's your ego. You need to be smart. You need to be irrational and less emotional in this situation. And it's changed everything for health.
And are you already on that stage that you prefer to select your partners when you are training rather than going with everyone, or you still don't care at this point?
Like the philosophy of the gym that I come from, I cannot choose my partner, but my master and or the coach is with me. He knows me enough to put me on the certain person. It's how safety makes
Right, right.
sense.
But for example, right now you are not with Mario. You are driving your own stuff.
Yeah,
Do you have this mindset in say, okay, today I'm gonna have to preserve myself a little bit more, so I'm gonna roll only with this and this that guy. You do that, right?
yeah. I I don't choose, but the thing is, it's because I know the people that I will already roll.
Yeah.
I don't come to them like, okay, roll a few right now. No, uh, it's usually the same guys in a row.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, this right now will be a tough guy. Now will be like this. If I am feeling like really bad or for some reason injured, I would talk for my coach like, oh, today I cannot roll with legs. I'm feeling like that. That's
Oh,
happened for
okay,
sure.
okay, yeah, awesome. Well, Fabio, this was a fantastic conversation. You have so much to share, and I'm really glad that you took the time to record this episode. Thank you very much for sharing your insights, and also to make sure that people will obtain those insights not only through jiu-jitsu but through your upcoming engagements, seminars, and things like that. If people really want to reach out to you to book a seminar, where they will be able to find you?
They can find me on my Instagram. They can send a DM for me or a mail. It's on my Instagram right there.
Mm-hmm.
If they need it, I can pass my email to right now. It's Fabio Alano 8 at gmail.com. Both of these places I can talk with people, and I will have my manager taking care of that. And even on these places, people can send a message for me, and she will like do the logistics for me.
Perfect. Amazing. Fabio, thank you very much. God bless you. Stay in touch and good luck with your recovery. Hope to see you in Vegas for the Master. I plan to be there too.
Oh yeah, I want to see. I want to see for sure. I I am so excited, and I appreciate for everything. Appreciate for your time too, and everything you're helping. I'm learning a lot with you. Like it's really like I'm really happy. And thank you everybody. I hope people like the audience can understand and can observe some information right here. And thank you so much. I appreciate everything.
Absolutely. All right, everyone. This is a wrap for today's episode. Stay tuned. Make sure to subscribe to our Spotify. We are also on Apple Podcasts. This episode will be live there in both places. And see you again next time.